Well, good evening. Nice to be here again. For once you cannot see my pretty face. I am here with the obligatory cup of tea or coffee. So I'll give you a very quick update on our Highland infantry. Then I will get on to 3 books. Then I will go and watch a movie. I have not done a lot to our Highland infantry today, simply because I didn't have the energy to do it, believe it or not. So I didn't do it. But here's as far as we have gotten. The kilts actually look striped at the moment, but that's the sort of way I start the tartan, with stripes. But what I did do today was the 2 figures that are together, one figure propping up a wounded comrade. I used them almost as a test transmission, a test piece. Wonder why I said that for, test transmission. I used them almost as a test piece, and I did the tartan on the kilts to a finish to see what it would look like, and that's what it came out like. So I think that's pretty good. If they all turn out like that, I'll be pretty happy. So hopefully tomorrow, if we've a bit more energy, we will carry on with the Highlanders. I can't see me doing too many battalions of Highlanders because there's a hell of a lot of work involved. I mean, as I've said before, one of the hardest things you can paint is Napoleonic uniforms, and one of the worst of the lot is the Highlander. So I can't see me doing too many battalions of these, but we'll get them done. So 3 books. One of my favorite things, interests, if you like, military wise, is World War II and World War I, I have to say. I have numerous books on World War I and II, and numerous videos as well. I find it totally fascinating, and as a lot of you know, once I finish with the Napoleonics, I'm gonna jump to World War II on the 132, 135 scale. And one of my favorite things of all, reading wise and sort of video wise, is books on prisoners of war. Now I have numerous books on Colditz and The Great Escape, etc., etc. But one of the best areas I find for this type of book is paperbacks, particularly pan paperbacks, and also occasionally Fontana paperbacks. Normally they're long out of print and sort of priced at 2 and 6 and all this business. But if you go around charity shops and you know, bookshops and even car boot sales. You can pick them up. It's the sort of thing you can pick up. Some of these are wonderful, and I think the illustrations on the front of a lot of these are done by the same guy. I'd love to know who the guy was. Hostages and Colditz, Sergeant Escapers. Sorry if the light's reflecting off the plastic bags. These are, a lot of these are actually very collectible now, these books, so I try and keep them in as good order as I can keep them in. It just shows you the sort of thing you can pick up if you're persistent enough. You see, that one there, I've read that one, and that one, and possibly even that one, done by the same artist, I would think. But that shows you just some of the prisoner of war books I have. But that's all Second World War. Now if you're going to try and find something beyond that, like First World War, they're like hen's teeth to find. And if you're looking for something outside of First and Second World War, virtually nil. I have one book here that goes into prisoners of war in the Napoleonic Wars, the American Civil War, the Boer War, and do you think I can find it? It's here somewhere, but that's the only book outside of the First and Second World War that I've managed to find on prisoners of war, and the only book I've managed to find on prisoners of war in the Great War, the 1418 War, is this book, which is my first book I'm going to recommend to you. It's called, see if I can get you a better shot of that. Now there you go, The Escaper's Log. It's a fantastic read. It's even got the price that I paid for it. What did I pay for it? £10. Must have been mad to pay £10 for a book that cost 2 shillings. I don't know when this was. When was this done? 1956. But if you can get it, it's a fantastic read. People in the Great War were every bit as ingenious as people in the Second World War at escaping. When you're talking Second World War, most people, depending on where you escaped from, would either go to Switzerland or try and get across the border from France into Spain, or possibly, as in the case of the Wooden Horse, they got into Denmark and then into sort of Sweden and got a boat home that way. But in the 1418 war, Holland was neutral, so everybody attempted to get to Holland, which was the destination for escapers. And this is a fantastic read, very, very enjoyable. Nice to have something other than World War II. It does have illustrations inside it of some of the people that actually escaped, some of the would-be escapers in the Great War, which is fantastic. There's some illustration on the back as well, which you can see there. Yeah, every bit as ingenious as people in the Second World War, if not in some cases more so. So my first book is, if you can find it, I don't know whether you'll be able to get a copy of it, anybody that wanted a copy, is Escaper's Log. My second book, being that we've just had VE Day. When was that? Yeah, was that yesterday, VE Day? I can't remember. But as we've just had VE Day, I know it's the last day or so. For those of you that are into bolt action and wargaming World War II, my second book is The Armed Forces of World War II, Uniforms, Insignia and Organization. A fantastically handy book, done in sections. I don't know if they'll be able to see that in this. My house has funny light, I'm telling you. Every time I try and photograph something you can't see it. Let's zoom in on that a bit, if I can do that. Yeah, now you can probably see it's done in the war in Europe, the war in the Mediterranean, Northwest Europe and the Pacific. So it's done in sections, and it goes into just about everything you want to know for painting figures. I mean, uniforms and coloration and insignia on the jackets and the lapels. Absolutely fantastic book. German paratrooper, it looks like it's got rubber knees actually. Luftwaffe pilot. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. The Luftwaffe pilot. More insignia. I mean, let's go out a bit on that. There you go. Absolutely fantastic. For anybody that's into World War II and gaming World War II and painting World War II figures, I would say it's a must-have book on your shelf. Absolutely fantastic. Soviet Union Army. Absolutely wonderful. Japanese Army, look. Japanese High Command. Japanese insignia. Absolutely wonderful. So that's my, there are more Japanese insignia, naval insignia. That is my second recommendation. Indian Army. That is my second nomination. The Armed Forces of World, I can't even say it. The Armed Forces of World War II, Uniforms, Insignia and Organization by Andrew Molo. And finally, if I can reach down and get it, my third choice, also because we have just had VE Day. My third book, for those of you that are into bolt action and World War II, is this book. DDay. Operation Overlord, from its planning to the liberation of Paris. Absolutely fantastic book. A absolute mine of information, as you will see. Let's see if I can get this up here a bit. Here we go. Shows you everything you want to know. Uniforms, who did what, where they were to, Eisenhower's uniform there. Look. The planning, the preparation, all the equipment that was used, absolutely fantastic. I can't think of a more comprehensive book on a subject that you could possibly get. I mean, it's just totally fantastic. Great for patinations of Nazi jackets and stuff. Great for when you're painting. Rifles that we used. Absolutely brilliant. Coastal defenses. Mines, Panzerfausts, pistols. I've got one of them to build, actually, one of those Goliaths when I get around to it. Yeah, I can't think of a more comprehensive book on a subject. So there's all your beaches. Utah, Omaha, Gold, blah, blah, blah. I can't think of a more comprehensive book on a subject I've ever seen. It's just packed full of everything. Even got your weather maps for the invasion. Absolutely wonderful. See, more Nazi uniforms. American uniforms, British uniforms, bomber pilots' uniforms, aircraft, or like a Typhoon. What's that? That's a Focke-Wulf, isn't it? Fantastic. More Nazi uniforms. Absolutely packed full of information, insignia, rifles, Nazi rifles, types of rifles they used. So if you want a really, really good reference book for figure painting World War II miniatures, or playing bold action, or even newspapers, look, playing bold action, or whatever rule set for World War II you use, this is an absolutely fabulous book. I thoroughly recommend this book. US uniforms. Great again there for the patternation of the jacket and stuff. Off the beaches, look where they went. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So that is D-Day Operation Overlord, from its planning to the liberation of Paris, forwarded by Winston Churchill no less. Absolutely fantastic. Should be on your shelf. If you're into World War II, that book should be on your shelf. So that's my 3 books. I am now going to go away and watch a movie and drink my tea. As always, thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.